Hello. Today I wanted to do a video about a topic that really irritates me. Okay, I've done a podcast, a version of this particular video as well. So if you want to check it out, please do click the link in the bio below. So what the particular podcast was basically discussing was ignorance in the Black community when it comes to religion. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and we were discussing this particular man of God, right? And, they were basically saying that, the person's a man of God and that's that. And I was like, okay, but why do you think this person is a man of God? Is it just that people say that he is a man of God? Why do you think that? He's a man of God and that's that. We are not opening our eyes, we're not opening our ears, we're not opening our minds to actually think, wow, some people may not be men and women of God. It's so easy for I think even some of these videos that you see on Facebook, right, and Instagram, of these little 5-year-olds like pretending to preach and be under the Holy Ghost and, speaking in tongues and doing all the, prayers and healing and all the rest of it. And, some of us think that's cute, but I think that's quite disturbing. I think that's quite disturbing because of the fact that it's so easy for a 5-year-old to emulate, to imitate what an alleged man or woman of God is meant to be doing, right? So if a little 5-year-old can do it, why can't a whole woman, why can't a whole man do it? Because it's just a character that they're playing at the end of the day. I'm a healer, and it's a self-appointed healer, This friend of mine was like, how I define a man of God is, by them being set apart by God, them being, anointed and that kind of stuff. And I was like, but how would you know who has been set apart and who has been anointed? Surely only God would know that, right? And it's just, we're just all too easily fooled. We're all too easily, impressed by somebody's title or how big their church is or how big their congregation is and that kind of thing. And we're just like immediately under their spell, It is, most of us are, really successful people, right? You could be in any profession, just really smart in day-to-day life. But when it comes to religion, oh, yeah, I need to turn my brain off now. Oh, I've come to church now. I need to turn my whole brain off now. I'm not allowed to think. I'm not allowed to question this particular man or woman of God. And the thing is, so many atrocities have taken place under the church roof, I'm just going to talk about church now. I'm sure it's happening in synagogues, mosques, all sorts of holy places, but I'm just going to talk about church now, okay? You can relate it to any religion that you want to, but things are going on in these places. We're talking financial abuse, we're talking sexual abuse, we're talking emotional abuse, mental trauma, gaslighting, shaming, all sorts of things are going on under that roof, and we are just turning a blind eye to it. We see it in broad daylight. And we're just turning a blind eye because, they're a man of God, they're a woman of God, so I'm not allowed to say anything. I'm not allowed to do anything about it. I'm not allowed to question him. Who am I to question him? I'm just a mere mortal. I'm not allowed to question this man of God. I'm not allowed to question this woman of God because they're coming under the guise of that character that heals people or prays for people or saves people's lives or that kind of thing, doing the work of God. We want to say, we're not allowed. We're not allowed to say anything about them because apparently they're godly people. So we can't say anything. So even when they are doing questionable things, okay, we're still turning a blind eye to it because we feel like we shouldn't be talking. And it really does just stem back to slavery days where we were forced to give up our African religions and follow Christianity, sorry to say, and we would be punished if we were caught practicing African religions, we were almost rewarded if we were to learn scriptures and, give our lives to Jesus Christ and do things, in the Christian religion, and now we're stuck in that mindset of I'm not allowed to talk bad about the master's, God or whatever, because we'd be severely punished if we had anything bad to say about the slave master's religion. We would be punished, you know? And this may be triggering for some people who are in that mindset, okay? But these are facts that I'm talking. I'm not talking because, of something that I think or conspiracy theory or whatever. I'm not even talking about anything that I think personally. This is factual, okay? This is factual that African religions were taken away from Black people and we were forced to follow Christianity. And, it's almost like, maybe your grandma or your aunties, everyone's kind of adopted this mindset. And I'm talking about just the Black community here. But everyone's kind of adopted this mindset that this is just the way it is and we're not allowed to question it. Because this friend of mine actually went on to say, oh, well, he's a man of God and that's just it. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to question it. There's repercussions for questioning it. People have been, killed. People have been ridiculed. People have been called liars. People have been stalked. People have been beaten. Things happen when you start to actually open your eyes, because these people are very well connected. You need to understand that, there's a lot of people, I think I mentioned in the podcast that a lot of a church, for example, any kind of religious institution is a charity. So you can get tax write-offs, all sorts of money could be flowing through there from all sorts of places. Most of the time they've got an in-house accountant who's under their spell as well. So they can make a lot of things happen. Okay. You get respect from everybody, men, women, everybody in the community, in the congregation. You get portions of that offering to pay for that mortgage, to pay for that car. There's so much benefit. And most of the time it's just, self-appointed. You know what? I just decided to be set apart today. I just decided that I'm going to be a man of God today. It's not hard. Learn a few scriptures, learn how to pray in tongues, learn how to pretend that you're holy, that you've been set apart, and people will believe you. It's a character that a lot of these people are playing, whether you like it or not. It's a character that these people are playing. And if a 5-year-old can do it, if a whole 5-year-old can do it, why would it stop a man or a woman who can actually get financial gain, okay, from it and whatever other gains? What would stop them from doing that? You may think, oh, who would do that? But that's because you're you. You wouldn't do that. That doesn't mean other people wouldn't do it. Just because you're not a narcissistic person doesn't mean narcissists don't exist, And I'm just speaking out about this topic because I'm really, really sick of people, smart people, just turning off their brain when it comes to religion and being almost scared of the repercussions that come with actually questioning, is this actually a man of God or is this actually a woman of God? Because I think that we're all men and women of God. I don't believe anybody's been set apart and, anointed and this kind of thing. I don't personally think that anyway, but who cares what I believe? What I care about is people not being abused, people not being manipulated, people not being taken advantage of, people being given false prophecies. That's what I care about. People using God's name to do evil, pure evil. That's what it is. It's pure evil on this earth. Taking advantage of people sexually, financially, emotionally, mentally capturing the minds of people. And people are so scared that they believe that God is going to punish them if they question this man or woman of God. That's why you see so many atrocities happening under the church roof. And people are not talking about it. You put cotton wool in your ears, you close your eyes, you zip your mouth, you're not allowed to talk because you believe that this person is a man or a woman of God? No. We need to stop this because it's like being under a trance, being under a spell, being hypnotized by this religion and we're not talking about it, And it's hurting people, so many people out there. And we're just like, oh, well, I can't judge. I'm not going to judge, or if I judge, I'll be judged or whatever. And you're just letting all these atrocities happen under these roofs. And these people are just going along with it because they know people are going to shut their mouths. They know people are not going to talk up against them, and they're just getting away with it day in, day out, just getting away with all these crimes and atrocities, taking people's money, sexual abuse, all sorts of things are happening. And we need to get comfortable with actually calling it out. Like, we are not slaves anymore, We're not going to be punished by the slave master if we speak up against people who are actively doing evil in our communities and trying to hide under the guise of religion and spirituality. I'm tired of it, personally. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your particular experiences with this kind of thing, because I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. So if you've liked this video, leave me a comment, subscribe to this channel, give me a like. You can follow me on Instagram at Zara Black. I think I've put the link in the bio, and have a listen to the podcast as well. Ignite Your Light with Zara Black. Thank you so much for listening.